Hello and welcome back to Cooking Italian Style. Today we're going to be making pizzoccheri della Valtellina, a hearty winter dish eaten in the north of Italy in a mountainous region. It'll keep you warm. It's basically buckwheat pasta. Buckwheat coming from the Dutch Buckwheat, which means buckwheat, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's correct. Confirmed by our experts. Now, this dish is going to take you about 45 minutes to prepare, but we're going to prepare it very quickly in about 5 minutes, and then we're going to make it look quick and easy. So, watch carefully and you'll learn something. You're going to need 1 package of pizzoccheri, which is about 500 grams or half a pound. You're going to need a half a head of Savoy cabbage. I'll tell you more about this in a moment. You're going to need about 200 grams or 8 ounces or 5 potatoes. You're going to need some salt and pepper, 200 grams or 8 ounces of Valtellina Casera cheese, 3/4 of a stick of butter, a couple of cloves of garlic, and a few pieces of sage. Let's say 5 slices. Okay, the first thing you're going to need to do is prepare your cabbage. Now, this is called Savoy cabbage. It may be difficult to find outside of Italy, but if you can, this is what you want to use. If you can't find this, you can use regular white cabbage, or you can use kale, or any cookable greens. Now, you're going to first want to take off some of these outside leaves, which are dirty. Notice this poo brown color here. That's what you want to avoid. Stay away from the poo brown color. Then we're going to cut that in half on our cutting board. Now, we're going to want to cut this up into tiny little pieces. And when I say tiny little pieces, I just mean cut it like this. You see, cutting it nice. Donna, is this correct what I'm doing?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Just going to cut it into nice slices, like that. And our cabbage is going to be 50% prepared. Then we're going to cut it in this other direction. Try to keep all your cabbage on your cutting board at all times. You don't want it flying around, making a mess, and getting dirty. And there you go. This is ready. If you find any big pieces like this, you're not going to want those. You're just going to want to take those out. Okay, now we're going to need to boil some water because we're going to be cooking this together with the potatoes. That's the next step. You're going to need a large pot like this, and you're going to want to fill it about halfway or 3/4 of the way with hot water, and then put it on your stove and boil it. Get that water? We're going to want to put our stove on high. Now we're going to want to add some salt to that water. So we're going to need about a tablespoonful of salt, or a little small handful. Does that look about right?
Yeah, I think it's...
Is it too much?
No, I think it's perfect.
Throw it in there. The next thing we need to do is wash and peel the potatoes. And there we go. Now, after you've washed and peeled the potatoes, you're going to want to cut them up into little bite-sized chunks so that they cook faster and are easier to eat. Alright, once your veggies are all prepared and cut up and your water's boiling, we're going to dump these into the water. Now, the first thing to add is the potatoes, because they take the longest to cook. Now, some people say to wait a few minutes before adding your cabbage, or other people say to go ahead and add the cabbage at the same time. We're going to add it at the same time. Okay. Once your vegetables have been added, you can briefly stir up the veggies in the water to get them mixed up. Then you're going to want to cover it up and come back in 10 or 15 minutes to add the pizzoccheri. Alright, while those potatoes and cabbage are cooking up, we'll go ahead and prepare the other ingredients. Now, the first thing I have to prepare here is my cheese. We'll go ahead and cut off the rind over there, over here, and over here. Then I'm going to cut this into thin slices. As thin as I can without getting obsessive compulsive. Be careful about your fingers. Nobody likes having little bits of fingers in their pizzoccheri. Okay, now we're gonna need some butter. Recipe calls for 75 grams. That's about 3 ounces, or about this much butter. Maybe a little more. Remember, this is a hearty winter meal. And we're gonna now prepare our garlic. We're just gonna need to cut off the tips of our garlic. Just get rid of all that skin. Then we're gonna cut the garlic into little slices. You can also use a garlic press if you prefer. Now we're gonna add our pizzoccheri. They sell boxes of 500 grams frequently, or half a pound, so we're gonna throw that whole box in there. All right, give them a little stir, and then we'll go ahead and cover up the pan. While these are cooking, we're going to start cooking up our butter. So we're gonna wanna put some medium heat over here. We're gonna throw our butter into the pan. We're gonna melt that down. When your butter is just about melted, go ahead and add your garlic. The butter should be just about melted. And we'll throw our garlic in there. Start cooking that up. We're gonna saute it for a few minutes. And you can go ahead and add your sage to the pan. Just go ahead and throw those right in there. Couple, 4, 5, 6 leaves. Mix them up, and the butter is gonna absorb all the flavor from that. While those pizzoccheri are in their final stages of cooking, go ahead and prepare yourself a large pot or tray in which we're gonna put the whole pizzoccheri cheese butter mixture in just a moment. All right, now 10 or 12 minutes have gone by. Our pizzoccheri are finished. They could still be slightly al dente, and we're going to go ahead and strain this whole mixture out into our strainer, which we prepared over here. It's better if you have a larger strainer. This one's a little bit small. Okay, maybe that's as far as we can go. All right, now we've done all the cooking, and here comes the most important step of the procedure. We're going to first take about half of this mix and put it at the bottom of our large pan here, like so. Pour about half of it in there. Is that about half? Spread it around. Okay. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And then I'm going to take my cheese and spread that right into the mixture, trying to create a nice smooth layer. Okay, now we're going to take the rest of our mixture and go ahead and pour that on top, because by doing this, the heat of the cooked pasta and potatoes is going to melt that cheese right down. And final step, we're going to take our sage and garlic mixture, and we're going to add the butter, which is going to have all the good flavor from the mixture. Now we're going to go ahead and pour this over the top. This hot butter is also going to help melt the cheese, and the whole mixture is going to become garlicky, sagey, and delicious. We can give it just a little bit of a mix up now too, to help spread the cheese throughout. Get it good and melted. That's gonna be some yummy, delicious pizzoccheri. Now, with the pizzoccheri, I've chosen a lovely bottle of Gewürztraminer white wine, which comes also from the north of Italy, Alto Adige, and is a perfect combination with this dish. We're gonna open this. And there you have it. We are ready to eat. Cheers. And buon appetito.